Welcome to Countdown to Spring, a Game of Thrones podcast. If this is your very first episode, which it probably is for all of you, we'll tell you a little bit about it. So we do these countdown podcasts, and basically we talk about every single episode of Game of Thrones, especially now, Season 8. Super excited. I'm sure everyone wants to talk about all of the different things. We're going to have a lot of fun segments. We're going to have an In Memorium. We'll talk about all of the things that happen in these crazy love triangles and reunions that are happening now.
These family trees.
I know. The crazy family trees that are in Season 8. And then at the end of this, we'll always talk about who we think is going to end up sitting on that Iron Throne. This episode is covering Season 8, Episode 1, so it's going to be filled with spoilers.
Yes.
But let's introduce ourselves. My name's Emmanuel.
And my name is Sofia.
Oh, Sofia.
Oh, me.
What's up?
I'm just chilling. I'm just hanging out.
So let's go right into it. How did you feel? I mean, before we go into specifics, how did you feel about Episode 1 of the new and final season of Game of Thrones?
I mean, it was a whole whirlwind for me. If you follow me on Snapchat, I mean, you can hear me screaming at the beginning whenever HBO, I was going to say Facebook, whenever HBO counts down, because it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, and it shows like flashbacks from previous seasons, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's really the end. This is it. I can't. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy that there aren't that many events that make us watch live TV anymore, other than sports.
Right.
Watched the Spurs game last night, and they won.
And they won.
But it is very rare because Netflix dumps everything all at once. Everything just happens at their own time, and Game of Thrones is like appointment television. You got to watch, and plus they made everyone wait over a year to see this new season.
I mean, it was like over 2 years, wasn't it? Like it's just like it feels like it's been literally forever. I mean, thank goodness, because we got to binge the whole thing in the meantime. And it was probably super unhealthy for us to sit on the couch for that long, but it's okay. It's all worth it because now here we are.
I know. Super insane that we're here. I think the recap in the beginning of the app definitely helps us out too.
Yeah.
Although we did see a lot of... We watched every episode. We watched so much Game of Thrones in the lead up.
In such a short amount of time, too. Yeah. I mean, it only took us 3 months, 2 months, 2.5 months, maybe?
To watch all of them. Yeah. Every single episode, baby. So Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 1.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the name of this. If I don't find... I don't see the name. You know how they have those little names?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I don't remember there being a name.
It may be so quick that we don't have it yet, but I don't see it.
I don't remember seeing a name in the beginning title. It was just like the final season.
And we could be wrong, baby. But so I just see 8.1. Well, let me go on imdb.com. Yeah, no name yet. We'll have to see what that name is. So Season 8, Episode 1. Really exciting stuff. We're going to go through a lot of what's going on in this season. But first, let's talk about overall. I felt like this episode was a lot of fan service, and by that I mean it's all the reunions you want. It's all of the people. It's even kind of funny. Didn't you think this episode was kind of funny? The jokes that they wrote into this.
Yeah, I mean there were a lot of references, a lot of jokes towards previous seasons, and I mean there were a lot of circles that were completed in this episode. I mean so many full circles.
Well, we can go through some of them if you want to. I mean, there's okay. Let's start with Jon Snow. So Jon Snow,
that was the most disappointing thing for me. Like,
what do you mean?
I mean, like his first, because Arya's just standing there, and you want them to have this connection from the
very
get-go.
opening scene. Yeah.
I was so looking forward to him to look at her through the crowd and be like, "Oh my God, there she is," and then nothing. I was like,
"But you know, if you think about it, it's been so long."
Yeah, but also I don't know if that's like symbolic for the change in Jon Snow's character, because now he's taking on this whole role, even though he says all the time,
his
"I
eyes
don't
are on another lady, baby."
Yes.
But that's a huge thing. Jon Snow, for the first time, coming back to Winterfell, seeing Bran, seeing Arya, Sansa, they'd already talked.
They'd already,
that is a huge part.
But coming back with his new queen.
Yes, we're going to talk a little bit about the weird tension that's going on. But let's just focus on some of the other reunions that happen. Sam meets up with him again.
Sam, I love Sam so much.
Yeah.
Like I love him so much.
Yeah. He's
I
been through so
love
much.
him. I love him so much. I love him just as much as I love Arya. Like for me, my heart is just, it's forever with them.
To be honest, Samwell to me is just ripe to be killed because he.
I know he has everyone's hearts already, and he would be the one to go.
And do you remember? So
we talked about this.
Samwell had a sex scene in the Game of Thrones. If you guys need to look back and find it, but to me, I was like, man, everyone got a sex scene.
Yeah, good for them.
Samwell got one. I don't know why I brought that up.
Thanks for that.
I think about it a lot. Tyrion Lannister also reunites with his ex-wife, Sansa.
With Sansa. And he even mentions it too. He's like, the last time we spoke, you just straight up dipped.
And I think the line was, he talks about the last time that Joffrey's wedding. He said it was a dreadful affair, and she said, as a joke, another joke. It had its moments. And that's ours. And then this happens a lot.
He even says, like, it was pretty hard telling people that you just disappeared. Because she was like, sorry, I left like that.
Well, and probably the biggest reunion happens at the very end, and I don't even say it's a reunion because you don't even know it's the cliffhanger of this episode.
I fucking lived for this moment. Like I knew exactly who was riding in on that horse to Winterfell. I knew exactly who it was going to be, and I knew exactly who they were going to look at.
Because that scene took a little while, and I was like, "Who's in this hood?
Right.
Who's this person?
Who's up in the hood?
Who's in the hood? Take the hood up. Take the hood up." And it's Jaime finally at Winterfell, the first time since season 1, episode 1, and he makes eye contact with a little boy in a wheelchair, and that little boy in the wheelchair
is Bran. And why is he in a wheelchair, you may ask?
Oh, I don't know. Who knows?
Because he fucking pushed him out a fucking window, and Bran's just sitting there in his chair looking all high and mighty like, what up, bitch?
I mean, there's so one of the biggest things that led you into episode 2 of the whole show was does Bran remember? Right. And he didn't.
And you honestly forgot about that. There was just so
Who
much
cares
shit
now? Who the fuck cares now? But it's insane because Bran knows everything
now.
So,
he's a three-eyed raven. There's like nothing out there that he can.
But a part of me thinks Bran at this point is like there's the world is big.
Yeah.
Who cares if you push
but
me?
You can totally see. I don't know if it's like a smirk or something, but there's like something with Bran's face like, what up? You know, like he
also
he knows.
This is
Jaime's reaction too gives it away because Jaime's like, who the fuck is that?
Oh
shit,
I recognize him.
Fucking remember.
So this is gonna sound really not mean, but kind of watch it. No, it's not. Watch this season. Watch this first episode again.
Oh yeah.
It feels to me like they just left Bran outside because he's always there, and Samwell's like, "Oh hey, Bran, you're here."
Yeah.
And then Jaime's like, "Oh hey, Bran, you're right outside here."
Right.
I feel like they forgot him out there.
No, they didn't forget him. He's just hanging out.
Guys, look it up. Watch it again. Tell me if anyone is there that's wheeling Bran out of there. Well, let's talk about these. I want to talk about, because you and I are lovers.
Okay.
I want to talk about love making. No, I just want.
Great.
Here we go. So am I doing it right? Tell me, rate me, scale of 1 to 1. No, so let's talk about all of the love that's being made in this season so far. The biggest one is incest. Classic theme in Game of Thrones. No, Jon Snow.
Yes.
Before he knows his real name.
Right.
And Khaleesi, Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
What do you think's going on there?
I mean, they're obviously fucking because they've already fucked.
Because we've seen it.
So yeah, we've already seen it.
I've seen it like 14 times already, slow motion. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's for sure happening. And I mean, I mean, obviously I don't like it because we now know that they're related. But like, if they weren't related, I would be all about it.
Isn't
like, they would be the perfect pair. But
they're both so humble and so.
I mean, I don't know about.
They're doing the right thing. I mean,
humble.
They're headed there. I mean, yeah. I mean, we talked about Jon Snow not wanting to be the king. It's like I didn't want that crown.
Right.
But also Cersei in the very beginning. Oh, sorry, shit, fuck.
He says
I just said the wrong person's name.
Fucking time. You know how frustrating it is watching Game of Thrones with Emmanuel Delfin. It's because he calls Cersei Xerxes.
Also, I called the wrong people Xerxes.
Yes, it's like what? Like who?
I'm really bad with names with real people, so it's tough that in this show where everyone has a crazy name, they're from a house that has a different name.
All these titles behind it,
and I'm so confused. I'm literally like reading a phone book through this whole thing.
Yep.
Why am I reading a phone book?
I mean, I don't know. You gonna call him?
What did you think about that? Speaking of their love, what do you think about that wonderful dragon ride they both went on?
Oh my god, it was like How to Train Your Dragon. It was so nice.
It was so long too, right?
It was.
In my head, I was thinking this either needs to have a whole new world in the background, or it needs to also be a roller coaster at some
that's
freaking
exactly
Warner Brothers or
that's
something.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the ride at Disney World.
Oh,
with
Flight of
the
Passage.
Flight
Avatar, Flight of
of
Passage.
Yeah, the
Because
Banshee ride.
it'd be such a sweet ride. And there was also
It's already a ride. It's at Disney.
Did you? I don't want to say roll your eyes, but what did you think about the time that they found that waterfall and they're like, we can just stay here forever, baby?
Yeah, no, I was straight up gagging at that. The dialogue was so cheesy. I mean, yay for them having their cute little moment, but she was like, he was like, it's too cold up here for a Southern girl, and she was like, then keep your queen warm, and I was like, oh my god,
oh yeah, baby,
so
it's so hot, baby, and then
the fucking
then the dragon stare. But this is what I really like about that moment is it was written because people can relate to that when your dog looks you in the eye.
Right, that's why they wrote it.
Right when you're about to make whoopee, people are
yeah.
like, "Oh, I understand. I get it now."
Yes.
One of the, and we'll talk about some of the conflicts later on, but this whole friendship / secret love, I don't think it's totally out there in the open yet that they're shagging.
I mean,
knocking boots.
They talk about it.
No, I'm saying to the rest of to like the kingdoms or anything. I don't think they know that yet.
I mean, no.
Tyrion sees it or hears it.
Yeah, everyone who's close to them definitely sees it. But I mean, you have to think.
It's true. There's a scene they talk about them
Cersei-
having to get married.
Yes, Cersei already well, she saw it during the meeting where all of them were introduced to the one. I don't even know what to call it. It's not a White Walker. What is it?
Just the undead.
Yeah, the guy.
Yeah.
the
when,
proof.
Yeah, when Snow
during
wouldn't.
the truce. Yeah. So I mean, she saw how they were talking and how they, how close they were and stuff.
They
so
know.
I don't think she's. I mean, she's not stupid.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about why that is somewhat difficult for some of the Starks. A little bit later on, we talk about some of the conflict that happened in this episode. Not a lot of conflict in the episode, not like actual conflict. But let's talk about some other not love triangles, but love groups. Lovers?
There was just
orgies?
tension, love tension everywhere.
Love tension.
So it's like sexual tension, just flirty.
Yeah.
There was so much romance linked to this
let's
episode.
Stick with the
I was
good
so
guys.
surprised.
I don't know if this is romance or just extreme friendship, but what do you think about Gendry, the Baratheon bastard, who's that really good blacksmith, and Arya?
And Arya, I was
What's
right about to
going
talk
on?
about that. I mean, I think part of it is just that they're just happy to see each other again because it's kind of like that moment where we get these characters.
They were together for a while.
Again, full circle, and they're like, oh, you made it, you know? Like, hey, you're alive. I think it was partially that because also, I mean, you have to think this was whenever she was with what was his name?
The Hound.
No, not the Hound. Well, yes, the Hound, but
yes, the one
baker.
who died. Yeah.
He didn't. Yeah, was it?
He got killed. He got murdered.
Name?
Oh, I forgot his name.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna kill me.
Let's do 10 minutes of this.
I'm so sorry, but yeah, I mean, it's been a long time.
The journey that they had together was so special. The Hound and Arya, since I brought it up.
Hog pie.
Oh, maybe.
I think.
I don't know. The Hound and Arya, that was another good reunion. That was really funny too. Between the Hound.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Again, though, that's like it's like witty banter. Like, oh, you're a bitch, huh?
Well, let's go back down to King's Landing for the last love couple, I guess. I don't.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Cersei
the bad guys.
And
Euron.
Not Greyjoy. Yeah, Greyjoy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
But he's like the worst kind of guy, and I mean, he's so arrogant and he's so just gross. I mean, I don't understand. And then she basically sold herself because I mean, yeah, he brought back the Golden Army, but it's like,
but he also brought so much. Yeah. Well, and
he didn't even bring the fucking elephants.
So they have this very weird relationship because they make a deal basically, and she's gone through so much to keep her power and position. I mean, she was with Baratheon forever, so I don't know if it's Euron or Euron. 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 I think it's Euron, right? So Euron is this super narcissistic, just awful guy who
I just said that.
I know, but I think
there's more emphasis on it.
Do you think that Cersei and he are perfect for each other in that weird, twisted way?
No, because even though she acts like this, you have to remember back to whenever she was discussing this with Robert Baratheon. Remember they were discussing their marriage and like how she straight up asked him at one point and showed her vulnerability if they even had a chance. Because I mean, at one point she did actually, care
that was
about
a good
him.
scene.
And so that I think since then I've always had it in the back of my mind that she's had like this sort of soft spot or like this. I mean, because she's a human, she has emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Even whenever we're looking back at season 7, she gives, or I'm sorry, on the very last episode, actually, Jamie tells her, like, you wouldn't kill me because, I mean, he's all that she has left, and that whole emotion aspect of it. Because if she was really like a hard ass, like she tries to be, then yeah, she would have killed him for sure.
Yeah, it would be an interesting like prequel series to see because she's been trained and she's gone through things and she's conditioned to be this way. And by this point, you wouldn't expect anything different from her character.
Also, at the end of this conversation, like that she has with Euron, after like the whole sex and like being stupid and like arrogant towards him, just like he was towards her.
Yeah.
As he leaves the room, she gets tears in her eyes because he tells her like, "I'm gonna put a prince in you." Like,
guess what?
Bitch, you're stuck with me.
There's already a baby in there.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he doesn't
also,
know
you
that.
brought up a good point.
What?
She's drinking.
Yes.
While
Oh my
pregnant.
god. Did anybody else notice that? Oh my god, she's drinking a straight up glass of wine. Bitch, you're pregnant.
She needs. Oh my gosh.
She's so worried about keeping her family there. I mean, hello, be careful with your baby. But no, yeah, she starts to cry as he walks away. So that again shows her vulnerability.
So those are, I think, for me, the three most important love things that we saw here. There's much bigger things that happen later on. It's crazy because there's so many people and so many characters that you're only in these little moments for like a minute, 2 minutes, because we gotta go. We gotta go to the next thing.
And like after the entire episode, I was like, "What? It's over
It
already?"
goes so quickly.
Like what?
After Jamie
minutes.
sees Bran, you're like, okay, what else?
Yeah, I was
nope,
like, "Oh
that's
shit!
it.
Now where's he gonna go?"
Next week. There's only 6 episodes, so
I don't know what I'm gonna. I mean,
they're just
like
speeding
most
up.
of us. We're
Yeah,
just,
we didn't even see Brienne of Tarth yet. We haven't seen a lot of people.
we did
Really? When?
in this episode.
Yeah.
She was riding it on a horse,
Oh yeah.
but I mean, it was
Barely.
insignificant.
Oh,
yeah.
So let's talk now about just some of the other things that happen. Let's talk about some of the tension. One of the biggest ones is Sansa.
Oh my god.
And I will say this: I defend her position because she has been through the worst of the
Right,
worst
I mean,
of the people.
It's hard to trust someone new.
Oh, yeah.
Especially someone as powerful as Khaleesi. I mean, I get it. I understand. And then also, she can totally see that John's fucking her. I mean, that's another thing. Because it's your brother.
She's
you know,
somewhat
as far
scared
as you know.
that he's just going to abandon the Starks.
And then he
completely.
asks her too. He's like, "Why?" She asks him too. Like, "Why did you bend the knee? Because you legitimately trust her, or because you're fucking her?"
And he's
or
like,
because you love her. But
she bent my knee
Oh, right.
during love making.
I'm sorry. What?
During making that sweet whoopee.
I don't
Oh yeah, making that sweet
All right.
whoopee, baby.
So yeah, I feel where Sansa's coming from, but she also needs to just trust John. I mean, she's again that John says it perfectly. Like she thinks that she's smarter than everyone because she's been through these scenarios. But there's also other things that other people have been through that she
doesn't know
has no
about.
idea about. Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because there are a lot. Part of the things with all these characters meeting each other that have never met each other ever before is there's going to be natural tension. And even just if you think about how humongous these armies are that are fighting alongside each other, it's probably rippling through the entire north right now. Like, and the Lannisters aren't even there yet. There's an army of Lannisters coming to supposedly march along with Tyrion who helps bring them along. So it's going to be crazy. Down south again. Let's head back down south. So the grand scheme of Cersei is that she's bringing along the Golden Company, which we were promised fucking elephants,
man.
And where they be?
They're fucking not here.
No elephants.
No. Even she looked genuinely disappointed. She was like,
she
"Where the fuck
was
are
the audience. We were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no elephants.
Yeah.
Cool. Why are you even here?
Disappointing.
and if elephants can swim, so I don't know why they're scared of boats.
Well, it's not that they're scared of boats. They just wouldn't do good on boats for such a long period of time.
I will be completely honest. They probably aren't okay with snow either.
That's true,
Like,
because it's actually snowing.
It's snowing in King's Landing. So, but I don't know. Maybe this is the whole thing.
Can we talk about how Cersei hires? Oh my god, I forgot his name. The guy in the brothel.
Geez, let's do 10 minutes of this.
I'm sorry. She basically puts a hit on her brothers as soon as they see him, and with Joffrey's bow. My God, I can't.
You're talking about Sir Bronn.
Yes, thank you.
He has been given so much by the Lannisters, and then they take it away a lot. But he's
immediately.
more. I think I associate him to Jaime more. But he is kind of this guy who's motivated just by money.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
He's just looking out for himself.
He is now a paid assassin.
Yep.
To kill the other Jaime and Tyrion.
The other Lannisters.
And guess what weapon they're using?
I just said it.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry, I was Googling the thing that you couldn't remember. But yeah, Jeffrey's, but with this weird
Did you say
obsession.
Jeffrey?
Joffrey. He has this weird obsession with that thing in the first couple seasons, remember?
Yes, yeah. I mean, everybody hates Joffrey, but yeah, he has his own little bow that's specially made for him or whatever the fuck.
And
so
speaking
now...
of new, Arya's also getting a new weapon. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, they did.
I didn't see the plans. Oh, it was very quickly. Because she was like, hey, can you make this?
Yeah.
But what was it? What are they making?
It was a sword.
Just out of dragon glass?
Valyrian steel, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, bye. I'm just kidding.
All right, well, one of the biggest things that we found out from the very last season that is carrying into this season is that, and we already talked about it a little bit, is that Jon Snow is not actually Jon Snow.
No, the tea has been spilt everywhere. It is out. Sam said, fuck it.
His real name is Aegon Targaryen.
Yep.
And now here's the thing. Bran knows, Sam knows. Sam has actual paperwork.
Aegon fucking knows.
What?
He knows. Jon knows.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what? Huh? Oh, yes. And Sam, I think it was funny that Bran made Sam go Maury Povich on...
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand why he did it.
Yeah.
Because Bran was like, I mean, yeah, I could tell him, but he's,
She's like, yeah, I know. He's like, I'm not his brother. He's like, neither am I.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know him either.
Damn, Bran gets
I'm
0
not
points
related.
this season.
I wonder what the repercussions... Because that's kind of where we leave off Jon Snow is in the crypt.
That was the last
with
time
Sam.
I think we saw him during the episode was his reaction towards the news.
It's so silly that they made Sam fall, but whatever.
I love Sam's point though.
What was it?
When Sam told Jon, like, because Jon was like, well, I never wanted the throne, and he was like, or no, he said, I gave it up for the people, and then Sam said, but would she do the same, knowing that you're the actual king? Which is true. I don't think Khaleesi would actually do it. I think she loves her power too much. Even though, like, yeah, he's the rightful heir to the throne, I don't think she'll just be willingly giving it to him. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's gonna be like, oh, do you have fucking dragons? Like, oh, do you have the intel? Like, you know, like she'll get really defensive.
Well, let's talk. Because part of this is kind of speculation for what will happen, but to me, it just is how long
do you think
Jon Snow will keep that a secret.
Yeah. Do you think he'll ask her? Because I mean,
because that's basically telling her you're not the queen.
There's proof, and Jon even says he's like, no, this is treason, and Sam was like, no, this is the truth. Because I mean, he has books to back it up.
I don't think he tells her because
he doesn't want the power.
there's a battle brewing, and he's like, I don't even care about the throne right now.
That's true.
But can you imagine just living your life thinking you're a bastard and then finding out you're the king?
Oh, I mean, it's overwhelming.
There's so many bastards happening.
For
bastards happening. There's so many bastards.
Right.
And also a lot of people without dicks. We talked about that earlier.
But you have to think about it. If he is the true king of all the 7 kingdoms, that means he can march his little ass over to King's Landing, collect their army, because now the Golden Company is there.
Yeah,
so
but they're being paid by...
Either way, it doesn't matter. They're his.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
So the Golden Company they're mercenaries. They're for hire, and so Cersei is paying them to be. They have no allegiance to anyone.
I know, but I'm saying because she already paid them off to cover the 7 kingdoms and the family that's ruling the crown. No,
they're just working for her.
They're
hired
hands.
Yeah, they're hired hands. That's so. They were going to fight for the Baratheons earlier, but the Baratheons they didn't do it. The Baratheons were like, oh, let's pay the gold. That's the first time we heard them about the Golden Company in the show, at least.
Right.
Is that was one of their plans? Was like, hey, why don't we pay the Golden Company to be, against the Lannisters? But they're like, no, let's not. So they're basically they have no loyalty. They just do whatever for money.
Oh, okay.
So Mormont, before he became like a part of Khaleesi's thing, he used to fight in the Golden Company. He was
that's right.
Okay,
I remember.
A paid hand for them.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I think the power for Jon Snow is only when Khaleesi's around. So they have to do everything together. She has to be okay with it if Jon wants the throne. But
she's not going to be.
Well, who knows?
There's no way.
Hey, who knows? Okay.
There's no way that she's going to be.
We'll talk
also,
about
how the fuck is he going to break out there because he had sex? That's so
I know. It's going to be weird. All right, so the last thing we'll talk about before we do 2 fun things is the last thing that we saw is Tormund, or one of the last things that we saw in the last season was I mean, you've seen it because we're talking about this episode, but the ice dragon bringing down the wall. And I was so worried for everyone. Tormund Don Darien, I think his name is, the guy with the fire sword.
Oh yeah, the Light King.
I thought they were straight up
Or
dead,
the
but
Fire
they are
King.
not, because we see them in this episode.
Yeah, they survived that whole attack. Well, I don't even know if it was an attack. I don't even think
They were just breaking the wall
yeah,
down.
I think they were just breaking the barrier just to kind of migrate towards the south or the north, technically, but south for them.
And we
because they're
get
going
some, and it's funny because this scene has jokes too. Really,
down. The
but
blue
it
eyes.
is the scariest. This is the scariest.
Yeah. Oh my
part.
god, I was nervous.
This
I was
this
afraid
felt
for them.
like the season 7. Like this moment, this part felt like the last season.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it wasn't, lighthearted. It was like meeting together.
Mhm.
This was very dark. When we turned the lights off, you're like, I can't see
It shows
shit.
the true war that's going on, honestly.
And
yeah.
they've crossed. They're now into Westeros, and the kid. And then they find that kid.
Right. Oh, I forgot. It's Sir something something.
I have his name here. Ned Umber.
There
He's
you
the
go.
little kid who
His family basically betrayed the Starks, and so I think they were killed for treason. If I'm probably
no,
mistaken.
Jon Snow spared them.
No,
from
I know, but
being
I'm
killed,
saying
yeah.
his parents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his
They
parents.
died.
Yeah, I know. And so those two were spared because John was like, "Oh, a child shouldn't have to pay for their parents'
Yeah.
mistakes." And then what does the fucking kid do? The kid just goes back and never.
And he
returns.
says, "You know what? We're just gonna stay up
He
here."
sends a fucking raven saying, "Hey, good luck."
And the House of Umber,
Mm-hmm.
they have the farthest north. They're the closest to the wall, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So they are the first group to be killed. And when he wakes back up, the little boy wakes back up
Scared the shit out
as
of me.
an undead.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it reminds me of the very first episode. Do you remember the first episode and those
Yes,
kids?
Yeah, where they find them in the little
Yeah,
snow and, the
and
yeah,
they
I
look like
remember.
him. Like so it's really really
A
cool.
lot of kids going on in Game of Thrones.
A lot of kids
A lot
going
of
on.
kids.
Speaking of kids, this is a section we call the In Memoriam. We're going to pay respect to some of the people
Speaking
that died.
of kids, let's talk about death.
I know, so we'll play some sad music right now. But this is In Memoriam. So some of the people that died in this, the people on the boat that Yara was rescued from, the Ironborn.
Oof, yeah. I mean,
A lot of axes and arrows to the head.
oh my god, that one caught me so off guard.
Yeah.
So off guard.
Bloody stuff.
Oh.
The other person that we'll talk about, I guess, is Ned Umber. With, I guess, however many dismembered arms you saw, divide that by 2 because everyone has 2 arms. Yeah, he got lit. And then the last
Yeah.
person I have here is all the sheep that the dragons eat.
Oh my gosh, I know. They were like, oh, there's only like
50
11.
sheep,
There's only
yeah,
like
14.
11 left. I was
And
like,
then
oh my
she's
god.
like, oh, they're not eating. Oh,
Yeah.
And then they don't really address that. Like they're not eating. Let's ride them and then go make
No,
out.
she said they've been eating
Oh, I
because
thought.
the numbers have gone down.
Oh, I thought he said. No, she says they're not eating.
No, they said that they've
Because they're
been
not used to
eating.
the cold.
Oh, I heard they've been
Yeah,
eating.
I don't know what episode you watched.
No, that's what I swear to God I heard because he went from there was 18 yesterday and 11 today, and then she was like, and then she said they've been eating.
Oh, I
was
thought she
like,
said they're not.
oh.
We'll watch it again right now.
Yeah, I could be. I was also doing biology homework. So.
Well, yeah, I think she said they're not eating, and then she
Okay.
says they're not
I
used to
remember
this
her.
climate.
I remember her saying that. Okay, she does not say climate.
Yeah, or like
she
you know
says
being
they
in
don't
the
like
north.
the north.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that for sure.
All right, so the very last thing for before we say goodbye, because these episodes we want to keep shorter than this. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? I think we talked about pretty much everything, and you guys can tell us too. Go to @DelphinPod and let us know the things we missed, and we'll definitely cover them.
Yes.
But anything else that's really big?
Um.
All right, 10 more minutes of that. So this is the
think
question I'm
so.
going to ask all the time at the very end of the show: is who do you think, after seeing this episode, who do you think sits on the Iron Throne, including the Snow Prince? I forgot what his name is. The White Walkers. What's the name of the guy who's in charge of the White
Yeah,
Walkers?
let's do 10 more minutes of this.
Okay.
The Ice King.
The Ice King. Yeah. So including him, who do you think ends up sitting on the throne after seeing this episode? Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I want to say John only because of the. I mean, I just love him.
I'm still gonna call him John. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah,
Aegon. Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just partially because he should have inherited it from the beginning because of his bloodline, but also because I just love his attitude. I mean, who doesn't love him?
Humble
He's
king.
just like a heroic,
Yeah.
do the right thing all the time, no matter what type
Yeah.
of leader. But I don't think he could handle the pressure. I really don't.
Let me pose this to you.
Mm.
I think. What if he dies? I think that'd be perfect, wouldn't you?
If he dies,
if he dies,
you think
then
that would be perfect?
no,
For what?
no, okay. I mean, that would suck. But if he dies, then Daenerys is actually like
the
there.
rightful owner. Yeah,
There.
but,
This whole thing was for nothing.
yeah,
You know?
but I'm saying I don't want her to be.
I know. I want them to
I
have
think
little
she's-
babies. I want them to make love.
I think, but they're related.
I still want it to happen, baby. It's only his aunt.
Ew.
It's not like it's his.
No,
you
I
know.
mean, I partially want it to be John, but no, I don't think he can handle the pressure. But then I also think Khaleesi is too temperamental because the way that she straight up got rid of the Tarleys. Oh, that's another thing. Sam's
Heartbreak Hotel.
I was just talking about how much I love Sam.
Yeah.
I love him so much, and he does not
Daenerys-
deserve the treatment that he has been given throughout this entire fucking show.
Yeah. He has
has
sex.
been
We already talked
nothing-
about the one time he
has
had
been
sex.
Nothing but innocent, and he has gone through the worst kind of fucking shit ever.
We're talking about the
Ever.
Daenerys telling him that she killed both his father and his brother.
And he breaks into tears.
The
And
Tarleys.
it started off as such a nice gesture
Interaction,
towards
yeah.
her because she just wanted to congratulate him and reward him basically for saving Momon.
Be in charge of the Citadel.
and
Yeah.
then he
And Tyrion was
finds
warning
out.
her. This was an exact.
Yes, that's exactly
example
what
what
Tyrion
Tyrion
said.
said.
He said you are too. Oh my god, yeah. He said you're too temperamental. Look
Yeah.
at what happened with the Tarleys, and she was like, "Oh, that was justice or whatever the fuck."
And now
But
here we see it's actually.
yeah,
very
like
similar.
she. Oh my god, and someone
All
that
those-
she is supposed to trust because
Yeah.
now she wants to name him head of the Citadel, and like he already has this bad.
Oh my gosh. So now I'm thinking
Mhm.
if Jon Snow tells her, hey, I am the rightful heir, she's going to ask him, who told you that? It's going to be Sam. And she's going to be like, oh, well, I killed his
Yeah.
family. Of course he
Just
would
putting a
lie.
target on Sam's
Oh
back
my
again.
gosh. Ugh. And so do you still think she takes the Iron Throne?
I mean, yes, but only because she's
She's still
just
on
as
top right now.
powerful.
She's still
Yeah,
A1.
Yeah, and she has the
steak
mindset
sauce.
for it. Also,
Yeah.
she's lost a dragon, so that's motivation enough for her.
Mhm.
Because those are like her babies,
Yeah.
you know. She's already got hatred from that. She has motivation from Cersei for sure.
I'm excited because Jaime is going to tell them what Cersei has planned.
What? Who?
Cersei? Zerts? Yeah. Ugh. I'm excited because he's going to tell her what the plan is,
I don't
and
know if he's gonna say all of it.
I think he's going to do it in exchange for his life. He has to, because they're going to kill him. They're going to be like, "Oh, you're the one that killed my dad,"
Yeah.
but he's going to be like, "Listen, let me show you that I'm loyal. Let me show you." But yeah, I don't know who I think is going to be on the Iron Throne.
What?
I'm
That's
just
not an answer.
I think Bran already knows, and I think it's going to be
he
Snow.
already knows.
I think it's going to be
Oh,
Snow.
I guess it's true. You can
Or
see
yeah, I guess yeah. I think it's gonna be Snow, and I think he's still gonna end up with Daenerys as of right now, because I feel like Bran is because he sees all. I think he's setting. He's like, hey, you have to tell him now.
He's putting the
He's
chips
like,
into
now's
play."
the time, and I feel like he's saying that with like a matter of fact, like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen right now, type of way. So it's super exciting. But I think overall, I'm excited for the next episode. I'm excited that everyone's meeting up. It's like the Avengers. All of them are finally coming back together.
2019, man, is just
What a year.
the fucking
What a year.
I'm gonna be sad
Afterwards,
like
2020.
all of this year.
What are what are you looking forward to in the next episode?
I just want to see how that conversation goes with Jamie. Honestly, I'm looking forward to that for sure.
It kind of looks like they're in a trial or something thing, right? Like in the
Oh yeah,
that they show at the end?
mhm. Yeah. Oh, they for sure take him to the Grand
they're gonna
Hall,
little
Winterfell.
finger him. Yeah, how
We're gonna
exciting!
See what's gonna happen.
Well, guys, if you like this podcast, rate and review it and share it with as many people as you can on iTunes, on Stitcher, anywhere. That's how people find it. Find us at DelphinPod, DelfinPod. You can interact and tell us what your favorite moments were and what you think is going to happen. Again, be mindful of spoilers. You don't want to spoil it for everyone who hasn't seen it, but honestly,
I mean, we're already
too late
an
now.
hour after. It's already spoiled. for
there's a bunch
everyone.
of other shows on this network, including Countdown to Infinity, an Avengers podcast. If you're excited and you're ready for, I guess, in 2 weeks, Avengers Endgame,
Oh my god!
look for Countdown to Infinity and listen to that. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of good stuff. So we'll see you guys next week after. Oh my gosh! Like soon, we're already 30% done with this season. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you for episode 2. Hopefully, it's a real good one, baby.
Yep.
We gotta have something at the end that we say.
Winter's here. Yes, it's been here.
The dead never die. Or is that something?
That's a Greyjoy.
I know, but I'm
saying.
trying to think of all the things. The Lannisters pay their debts. Always pay their debts.
Yeah.
What do the White Walkers think? What's their thing?
Nothing.
Just
go,
grunts. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.